Hi everyone, welcome to Needful Things again. Today we're going to start working on what I like to call when art meets crochet or crochet art. Because this is going to be like an art piece by the time you're done. So I'm using this yarn from Thyme brand, Pound of Love. We have 16 ounces, 454 grams, 1020 yards, 932 meters. And you can use a 10 or a 6 millimeter. I'm using a 6 millimeter hook by Susan Bates. I don't know if you can see that. It's a size 9 or I, which is like a 6 millimeter. So here's my yarn. It's so soft and squishy. Don't you just love that? Okay, so I also am going to be using my counter today. And you'll need scissors, of course, and that's about it. And so how we start this pattern is we start with a chain of 146 chains. Very simple. We just make our slip knot. And I like to use my counter, like I said, because I sometimes walk away from it. So we'll just start and you'll do 146 chains. Okay, I'm at 46, so I'm going to take a little pause and come back when I've got my 146. Okay, so we're here at 146 in our chains. As you can see there, I've used my counter. So I have my finger pressed on that 146 stitch. I'm going to yarn over and go into that first stitch, number 146, and do a half double crochet. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're just going to complete this entire row across 146 stitches with our half double crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of that, okay? Okay, so I've reached my 146 half double crochets, as we can see here. I'm at the end of my row. We're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Okay. In that very first stitch, we're going to yarn over and do a half double crochet in that very first stitch. Okay, then we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over, and then we're going to count the next stitch after that half double right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that next stitch, the 5th there, in that sequence, we will do a half double crochet in that stitch to make this little box. See that? Okay. Chain 4. yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the next one, half double crochet, and that's what we're going to do all the way across this entire row. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches in there, 4 chains, half double crochet, 4 chains, count 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one is the half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and 4, yarn it over, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one is a half double crochet, and that's our pattern all the way across this entire row. So continue to do that, chain 4, count 4, and do a half double crochet in that next stitch. Okay. So I'm going to go to the end of this row and I'll catch back up with you. This is row number 2, because basically this pattern will be a repeat of row 2 and row 3. Okay, so we're doing row 2 now. Okay, so I've reached the end. I've got one more little box to do. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I advise you to do these chain stitches a little bit loose on your tension, because you're going to have to do something with them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my last stitch right here on the end. You gotta find that stitch. Get right into it. Half double crochet, chain 1. That just sort of locks in your work there. And turn your work. And here's what we've created so far. And this will be known as the front of our work from now on. And when we're working these chain rows like this with the half doubles, that will always be worked on the back. Okay, so now we're back on the front of our work. We've chained 1. So in that very first stitch right here, we're going to put a half double crochet. We're going to work a half double there. And now in our chains, just give it a little turnover so you can see the chains. I want you to actually go in that chain. Do not wrap around that chain. No, no, no. Go in the chain, 4 half double crochets, 1 in each chain. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just like that. That's what we're doing. And we'll start with a half double and we'll end the other end of the row with a half double. Every single row ends with a half double. Okay, and begins there. Chain 1, skip this half double right here and move into our next set of 4 chains and do 4 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1, skip that half double. Make sure you skip that one now, then that chain. Go to your 4 chain set of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1, skip the half double. Move to the next set of chains. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1 and move on to the next section, and that's what we're going to be doing all the way across. We'll do 4 half doubles in the chain, the 4 chains. Chain 1, skipping this half double. And we're going to do that to the end of this row, and I'll catch up with you when you get to the end. Okay, so I'm here at the end of the row. I've got to do chain 1, I skip 1, and then the 4 double crochets in the chains. I mean half double, sorry. And then in that last stitch right here, we're going to do our last half double there in that stitch. Chain 1, and here's what that looks like. Chain 1 and turn. That was row 1, row 2, and row 3. Now we're going to yarn over for row 4. Start with your half double crochet, chain 4. In that space there where we did the chain on the last row, we're going to put a half double crochet. Chain 4. Yarn over in that next space, put your half double crochet, work it in that space, just like this. And basically we're just doing row 2 again, and that's where we're going to put our half double crochet is in that space. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Row 5 is going to be the row with the half double crochets in the space. So I'll finish this row and come back and get you started on the next one, so you'll be able to find your rhythm. You know, that'll make it easier because we've set the pattern, so that part's done. Okay, and our single crochet, not our single crochet, but just that one chain is all we need to move up. It just gives us a little healthier stitch, a little better structure. So I'm going to continue. Like I said, when we're working this row, particular row, we're going to be working on the back side of our work, because that's what it looks like from the front. So complete this row and I'll meet up with you at the end. Okay, so I've made it almost to the end of the row here. Go in that last stitch there. Half double, chain 1. There's our row. You stretch it up a little bit, you can see what it looks like. Okay, so we've chain 1, we're going to turn our work. Yarn over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Row in row 5, and that's going to be our half double crochet row in our 4 sections. We'll start, as always, with our half double crochet. Then we'll go into those 4 stitches again into the stitch. Don't go around it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we've come to that half double crochet. We'll chain 1 just like we did on this row here. Whoops, I'm sorry, I was off camera. Just like we did on this row here. Chain 1. Skip that stitch there. Go into that 4th section of stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1. Skip that stitch. Move on into the next 4 stitches. Half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1. Skip that one over that half double. Do your 4 half doubles in your chains. That's what we're doing. as you can see. And so that's what you're gonna do. This second row and the third row, you're just gonna keep repeating those. That row, that row, that row, and you'll just keep repeating row 2 and row 3 until we get up to our length that we want to be. And I'm thinking this one's going to end around 50 inches because we're also going to do a border, and it'll end up to be bigger than that. So I'm going to continue and get a larger section so you can see as it looks more laid out. Okay, so continue working down your piece, get to your end. Don't forget your little chain 1 when you turn. Make sure you're putting it in the stitches. Don't be lazy and try to put it around it. That will just not be pretty. We don't want that. Okay, so I'll catch back up with you when we get a larger section done so you can compare. Have fun. Hello, I'm just checking in on you to see how you're doing and show you how my piece is coming along. I'm working on my row of chains here. And this is the back side of my work. I think I've done about 50 rows so far. I'll let you know how many it takes. I'm going to about 50 inches. I usually just measure it though. But some people want to know rows. So that's the front side here. And I just want to show you where I am so hopefully your piece is looking similar. And like I said, I'm just working on the chain row. So I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're zooming along on your rows. And after we get this done, we're going to make our, you've probably, I don't know, if you made that woven crochet scarf that I did in the previous video, you've already done this, so you know where we're going next. I've done one piece just to start my weaving it in, just to see how long I need to make it. So I'm going to continue working on my rows, and I'll check back up with you when we get this section finished. We're not too far away. I'm almost down to the end of this 1 pound lime brand 1 pound. I'm using olive green for the background. And so I'm probably going to order 2 more of those. So because I want to do a border, and I'm not sure if I want to do the border in a different color or the same color. So I want enough of the yarn. So I'm going to at least use 3 pounds of yarn for this. I know I'm not going to use the whole 3 pounds, but you can buy 1 or you can buy 2 at the same time. So I might as well buy 2 in case I decide to do the border in the same color, which I might. So, yeah, 3 pounds of love. That's what it'll be. So I'll check back in with you soon. Hope you're enjoying it. Okay, I just wanted to check in with you. I'm almost at, this is my last row. And I wanted to remind you that the last row is going to be a row of half double crochets all the way across in every stitch. So after you do that last cage row with the chains, the next row will be your last row when you're there, and you'll do it in every stitch, including where the half double crochet is. And when you get to the end, you just cut your yarn and tie it off and secure it, and then we'll move into the next phase of our woven crochet blanket. So that's what I'm doing. And my piece, I just measured it for you because I knew you'd want to know in case you were using the same. It's about 50 inches. If you stretch a little bit, it could go to 51. And so the next part of our blanket is going to be making our strips that we're going to use for weaving. So I will do that about 51 inches. And like I always do, I will take my stitch markers and connect it to the bottom so that it doesn't pull away, and the top. And I'll show you how to do that. If you didn't make my other woven crochet project, then you'll need to know that again. Or maybe you just want some more instruction. So that's good also. So I'm going to continue working this row of half double crochets across. And I'll reach the end and I'll come back on and just show you sort of what I've got here. Okay? It's just basically it's a rectangle. I can't remember, we did 146 stitches wide and 51, and this one's about 50 inches tall, or long, I guess you could say. And you could stretch it, of course, but why would you want to? Because it'll open up when we start to do the next step. All these little spaces. So I'm going to continue to finish this row, and I'll come back and check in with you, and we'll get started on the next part. Okay. Hi, I just wanted to show you where we are in the stage of our throw. So I've finished the section with my little cages, and you can see over there on the other side what we're going to do next is we're going to make our strips to do our weaving. I'm doing the strips in a deeper color, so I'm using a red heart. I think it was a 7-ounce skein, and you have to make 29 strips. These strips here we're going to make in Tunisian crochet, and don't worry if you don't have a Tunisian hook, you don't need one for this. I'll show you how to do it. So I'm making them because, once you get this, sort of pulls in a little bit, so it's about 47 inches up and down. So what I do is I just crochet my strips, about 46, 47, 48 inches. And then I loosely tie off the end and cut it in case I need to make it longer or shorter. And I adjust it once I put them in. I use my stitch markers to hold them down, as you can see. And it holds it through the front and the back. So we can do our next step after that. And I do that, I do it on both ends, so that they don't pull out when you're maneuvering, your piece around. I put them on both ends. And so we're going to make these strips. Like I said, I'm using a darker shade of green. You can use whatever 2 shades of green you like, or you can use these. I've told you what they are. This is also a medium weight 4, as you can see right here. And I'm using my same hook to make these that I used to make the blanket part. Okay? So I'll get you started on the little strips. If you've done my other woven crochet piece, it's a scarf. You could look up that video if you want to. So this stretches out, it's about 46, 47 inches long. And we're going to put a border on it, so that'll make it bigger. So I just wanted to show you what we have now and what we're going to do next. Hope you're having fun. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we're going to make our strips. I call them strips. Where I'm using, like I said, a different shade of green. I used 1 pound of, the 1 pound Lion brand for the base of the blanket. I already showed you this, a 16-ounce skein. And now I'm going to use this Red Heart Super Saver. 7-ounce, 364 yards, 333 meters. It's called Medium Thyme because I want a little bit more dimension to my piece, because we're going to use this for the weaving strips. Okay, it's quite easy. It's Tunisian crochet. However, you don't really need to know how to do Tunisian crochet to make these strips, because I'm going to show you. So we start with our slip knot. I'm using the same hook that I made the body of our throw with. Put it on your hook. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that first loop there that's still on the hook, that's our first stitch. We're going to go into that next chain, pull up a loop, keep it on the hook. Pull up the next loop and the last stitch, keep them all 3 on the hook, just like that. And this is all we're going to do in these strips, is three stitches. So we're going to do 3 Tunisian knit stitches, okay? That's why you don't, normally you would use a Tunisian hook. I don't have one that I can just grab and show you. You probably know what it is. So anyway, you can just use your regular hook that you just used to make your throw, okay? So yarn over, pull through that first loop, yarn over, pull through that second loop, yarn over, pull through that third loop. The stitch is already on the hook, that's 1. And then it looks like a little V stitch, or if it doesn't, just put your hook right through. Can you see that? Right through the middle there. And just pull it up, that little V stitch there. And then on the end here, I want you to make sure you go through both of the stitches. Both of the bars of the stitch, like that. Yarn over, pull your loop through. Okay? I like to give it a little tug so it doesn't go all tight. Yarn over, pull through the 1. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. You don't have to be tight with your tension. So you've got one already there. Go in that, see that little V right there? We're going right in there. All the way through. Pull up your loop. In the end, you'll go right through the middle. And make sure you go under both of those bars and pull up your loop. 3 on the hook. You're making little knit stitches. It's called Tunisian knit stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Then back across. And in Tunisian crochet, they're called the return pass. This would be called the forward pass. Then you do a return pass. Oops. As they all slip right off. And you just continue to do this. And I'm doing my strips about, because like I said, it does stretch in a little bit. It was 50 inches to begin with. Now it's down to like 46, 47. Maybe yours is 48. I don't know how much you stretch. So I'm doing my strips about 47 to 48 inches long. And then I just cut the thread off and secure it loosely so that if I need to adjust the strip, once I weave it into my cage piece, for lack of a better term, my base piece, I guess you could say. When we weave them in, you know, they might stretch a different way or a little bit or something. So that leaves you enough on the end if you need a little bit more, or you want to take it down a little bit less. You'll just, you know, undo your string and take a few rows out and finish it off. And I'll show you how to finish it off as well. And but I want to get enough here to show you what we're doing. So that's basically all we're going to do until we have it 47. I'm doing mine about 47 inches. And I had to take off a little bit on one because I got a little overzealous and it was way past 47. But I was watching something else. So when you get to your 47 inches, or 48 if your stretch is that much, you'll have your 3 here, and on your last row you go across, pull in your stitches. Now we're going to do, this is how you finish each strip off. Chain 1, then go into that next little V stitch, pull up a loop, and just pull it through, slip stitch, and go into the last one like you always do, slip stitch. And then you'll just, you know, cut a piece of yarn, a little bit of length, not too much. Don't overdo it because you'll probably need to undo it more than you'll need to add to it if you have that issue. I don't always have it, but sometimes I do. So I'll just cut off about that much, pull it through here, and boom, it'll be done. And I just weave it through, and then if I need to adjust this end, you know, I've already been able to do that because I'll just cut it and show you what I do. So then I'll just pull that through like that and just leave it loosely. Because when I weave them through, you know, I put it, like I showed you, I put a stitch marker on the bottom when I get it there, and then a top to hold them in place. As you can see, it will stretch a little bit, and it does that when it's entwined into the blanket as well. So then if I need to, you know, come up here and be like, oh, I need to take a couple of rows off because it's a little bit too long, I just undo that because I did it loosely, pull it across to however many rows you need, put your hook in that first one, like that, and just pull it over to there. And even if you need to put a row back, that's fine. And then you'll just finish it off the same way you just did it, with slip stitches across, and then pull it through just like you did. And then it's a little bit shorter, but that way it makes it easy for you to adjust, you know. So we're going to have to make 29 of these stitches. Like I said, I'm using this 7-ounce skein to do this of red heart. It's called Thyme. The base color is called Olive. That was Lion brand, Pound of Love. So I'm going to make my 29 and come back and we'll do some weaving. So here you can see what it looks like as you go down your rows, your 3 rows, your 3 stitches, and it grows to your strips that we're going to do our weaving with. I just want you to see what it looks like. That's the back. That's the front. So it's really beautiful, and you'll do 29 of those, and then we'll weave them. And yeah. Oh, and I wanted to, because I knew someone might want to know. So I already told you I'm doing the strips about 47, 48 inches. Sometimes I have to make them a little longer. Sometimes I make them a little shorter. That's why I told you to do the ends the way I did. But on the body of the blanket, the cage, if you will, that we're going to weave into, that was 85 rows to get to, like, if it stretched a little bit, it was like 50 inches. But when I get the strips in there, it sort of, like, you know, comes in a little bit, so it ends up to be more like 47 or something like that. So, but it was 85 rows in the cage rows. We're calling them cages in the olive color. And then after we do our weaving, we're going to come back and we're going to do some other parts, some more elements that we need to create to continue working on our piece. So you'll have a work of art when you're done. I don't know if you want people to throw it around because it's going to be so beautiful, but it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to keep working on these strips. It takes me just as long to make 29 of them as it takes you to make them, trust me. But it's very, you know, you can just watch a movie or something and just do it because it's 3 stitches. By the time you get used to doing it, you won't even have to look at it. And it's also a good way to get a little peek into the world of Tunisian crochet if you haven't, you know, done any of that or looked at any of it or tried to learn it. This is the Tunisian knit stitch that we're using, so it's you learning something maybe, I hope. If not, I hope you're just enjoying the pattern. So I'm going to continue on this and I'll check back in with you later. Hello, just checking in. Excuse me. I know this might seem a little awkward, but the easiest way to put the strips in is to just lay it across the bed for me. I mean, if you have a giant table, you could do that. But the table where I work is big enough. It's just I couldn't get it all on camera. So I'm just taking our strips that we've made, 29 of them, and I did the first one on the front side, then the one underneath, one on top, one underneath, one on top, and just, you know, all the way across like that, and you just weave them in under the pieces, as you can see here. And this one, like I said, I make mine a little bit longer because I'd rather take them off than have to make them longer. So I'll just undo the thread here, and I'll roll it back to here, and then I'll tie it off and bind it off like I showed you. And then we'll attach them later. I put little stitch markers in here so they stay there, because I do the whole thing at once, because you have to crochet across the bottom eventually. So the best thing to do is just do them all at once with your stitch markers. Hold them in place. If you made the scarf, you did the same. And that's what we're going to do with our 29 strips that we've made. Like I said, I've got 29. And generally, I put them in the direction that I began them, like the end that I started on. I put them in at the top and then go to the bottom. So they're all facing the same direction, if that makes sense. So that will be your next step once you get your 29 strips made. And then we'll go to finishing the top and bottom. Okay? Hope you're having fun. I love doing this woven crochet. It's so much fun to do. So I just wanted to show you here, I have all my strips done to do my weaving, and we're going to weave them into the spaces. I have 29 strips. It's actually the same color, even though I know there's a color difference in my strips. I had 3 skeins of the green that I was using, which is Red Heart Medium Thyme. And I had to order one more, and when the other ones came, it said they're the same color, but I guess the dye lot's different. So it's fine. I'll just mix them in with the previous 12 that I had already made. And then the other 2 skeins I will use for the border that we're going to do next after we weave all our strips in. So like I had told you earlier, just weave them in. I generally start on the corner of here, and I do the first one on the top of I start on the front with the first one, then the next one starts on the back, then the front, then the back, when you weave them in. And I know this lighting may be a little weird, but I had to turn off the overhead light because for some reason it was really doing something weird to the color. So I just want to check and show you that I'm weaving them in now, as you can see here. Just weaving them in. That's all we're doing. And when you get all those woven in, make sure you put your stitch markers. Remember, put your stitch markers to hold them on both ends, because we're going to crochet across here in our next step. Okay? So I just want to check in with you so you can see what I'm doing. I've put this out on the table so you could see it better, and I'm just weaving them in down the front. And because one of my skeins came a little bit different shade, which is not the color you see here, it's really not coming across as the color that it is. They are both green and very close to the same color, but unfortunately for some reason it's not showing. So I'm just mixing them in together, and then what I'll do at the end, because a lot of them I made a little bit longer, because I didn't want to have to make them longer in the end. So what I did, I'll just go through here and undo the end of it, and then unravel it down to here, and then just finish it off again and pin it on with one of my stitch markers. I just wanted you to see how I do that. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so I've done all my weaving of my strips in, and this is what I have done. I've just leave my long ends, and then when I get around there on the next step, I'll just make them shorter and crochet them, because we're going to crochet a border now around the edge. So I'll deal with those when I get there, but I have fastened everyone with a stitch marker and made sure that it's all correct in where I've woven it into the spaces, because I had to take a few out, I won't lie. It can get crazy. So that's what the whole piece looks like at this point. And now we're going to put our border around it next. Okay, so I've got all of my pieces woven in, all of my little strips, and I wanted to show you here, the camera keeps doing weird lighting. The greens don't really look that different. There was that one skein I told you about that was the same shade, it said, but I guess the dye lot was different, so I just mixed them in so that it works out. So now what we're going to do, that we have all our strips in, and you have them fastened in at the bottom. We're going to here's the corner, one of the ends. I call that a corner now. So I'm just going to start anywhere on your piece. I'm using the same 5.5 milliliter hook. I'm using the Susan Bates, same one I've done the whole thing with. Make a little slip knot, or slip stitch, I guess you could call it. Then just stick your hook. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a half double crochet around the entire throw to give us a foundation row to work our edging, or rim, or whatever you call it on a blanket. So each one, these are half double crochets. So each one of these is what we call a stitch. We're going to put a stitch, one here. Then we're going to move into that open space, but we're not going to go into the space. Let me see. Okay, so we're going to go like right in here for a stitch. And then in the space, where there's the space, we're just going to try to go up under there enough. Can you see that? Just in that stitch as much as we can, like sort of in between there like that. And that's where we're going to put a stitch, a half double crochet. So I'll just start in that one. And pull your loop through, chain one, and go right back in that same space and make your first half double crochet. So yarn over, go through, pull up a loop, and pull through all your loops. I'm going to crochet in the tail at the same time, and I'm using the same yarn that I made the strips out of, so that'll help me blend these, the one that was a little off color. So we're just going to continue. Like here, we'll put a half double crochet in each row and get it in between there, because you don't want to wrap it around that entire stitch. That would be too thick. And so we're going to go all the way around the foundation doing half double crochets. And when we get to the end, I'll show you what we're going to do there in the corner. Now what I would do at this point is take a stitch marker and just put it in your beginning stitch so you'll know where that is. Just put a stitch marker where you started and continue to the corner. And once I show you how to do the corner, you'll just go around the blanket and finish your stitches, and I'll meet you back up. And we'll start the rest of our edging. And you know, try to make it look nice and even. Don't do something different in every stitch. And by that I mean, if you put it in one space, in the space area, then put it in the same one over here. Here, if you're going in between there, in that row, then do the same thing on every one. If that makes sense. So we're just making a foundation to build the rim of our blanket. Might be better if I get that out from under it. Okay. Now we're in that last corner, or the last stitch, I'm sorry. We're going to do 2 half double crochets in that last row there. Then you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to do 2 more half double crochets all in that same space. And then you'll just keep going, doing your half double crochets in the row. Now here, you're not on a row, you're on the actual end of the blanket. So you know you had 4 stitches here when we made the 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're there as well, and then the half double there, and there's a half double there. So and in those 3 stitches you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 3 of those stitches, at the same time you're going to grab this here, okay? And you'll be doing this all the way around on all across the bottom. And you can grab the yarn at the bottom that sticks out if you want to and try to work that in, or you can cut it off later or sew it in. It's pretty secure already. So here we are. We're going to do a half. We've got 1, 2, 3 stitches there. And we just want to grab this thing. So just go into that stitch. Go into the stitch behind it. And do your half double crochet. Half double crochet. There's 3 stitches there, we know that. Make sure you find your corresponding stitch in the back. Then you have that one more there. And you just keep going across the row like that, and when you get to the next one, you'll just pick it up, and this is what it looks like. You just picked it up and crocheted it in so it finishes off that part of the blanket. And you grab it from the back as well so it's no longer loose. And then later, we'll deal with these threads later. You can sew them in, or you can just cut them off because they're way back here anyway and they're tightened already. So we're just going to continue like that. And of course, when you get to your next corner, you'll do the 2 half doubles, 2 chains, and 2 half doubles. Then it'll look like this. The corner. And then how you connect the piece there. I'll take it. Now that one was on the top, so we know this one comes from the bottom, so it's on the back. Make sure it stays in the right position. Okay. So we're going to go through our next stitch. And we're going to get our little strip back there and go into that first stitch. Pull it through. Don't worry about those other strings. Go into the second one. Yarn over. Go through the next stitch. Go into that third stitch of the one behind. Make sure you get it in the right place. Then you just keep going across the way. Stitches are all there, you just have to make sure you get them. And see, that closes all those in. And then if you look at the back, minus those, we've caught this one here, we've caught this, and you catch them across, and that's how it connects together. So you'll do that all the way across. That was in the front, that one came from the back, this one's on the front here, as you can see. So we'll take out that stitch marker. I'm not concerned about that string. Now we'll go into our first stitch. Find the next one back here. Remember, we know there's 3 stitches. Oops. Okay, and so you'll just continue connecting the strips and doing a row of half doubles around and do your corners. You can always back it up if you need to see the corner again or how we bring these together. And like I said, if you want to, you can sew these strips in. You don't have to. You can cut them. Nothing will happen. So it's nice and clean. And everything is connected. And then after this, we'll get to working on our actual edge of the blanket. Okay? So continue that all the way around. I'll meet you back up at our beginning stitch there. Okay, so we've done our half double crochet row all the way around with our 4 corners. Take that marker off and we're going to connect to that first stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to go into the second stitch and do a double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and we're going to double crochet all the way around the entire throw. And when we get to our corners, I'll show you what we're going to do there. Put my stitch marker back in my first, on that third chain. That's where I'm putting my stitch marker, on the third chain, because that's going to count as a stitch when I come back around. Okay, so we're just going to continue with our double crochets. So the half double crochet row we did, that was our little foundation row to make everything uniform and nice. And now we're going to actually start the rest of the edging. And we're coming up on our corners. And okay, so I've come to the corner and we're going to put 2 double crochets. Chain 2, 2 double crochets all in our corner space. And then we'll just continue with our double crochets around till we get to the next corner. And we'll do the same thing on that corner with our 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and continue all the way around till we connect to our first stitch that we began with. And that's what we're doing in the corner. And so I'll meet you up when we get back here, connect to that first stitch, and we'll go from there, okay? Okay, so we've gone all around with our first row of double crochet. So now I'm back at the beginning and I've joined to the first stitch, the chain there on the third chain. So we're going to chain 3. And we're going to yarn over and we're going to do a front post stitch on that very next stitch right here. There's the chain 3, here's the post. Front post, double crochet. Back post, double crochet. Front post, double crochet. Back post, double crochet. Front post, double crochet. Back, so that's what we're going to do all the way around. Front post, back post, all the way around till you get back to here. Join to here and we'll start again. Okay, so I'm going to just do that a little bit closer up. So that was the front post. This is the back post. Front post double crochet. Crocheting around the post if you don't know. Back post. And we're just going to alternate all the way around. And this is how we're going to finish our border. And as you get around here, this will start to tighten in a little bit, and it's really pretty. It's a really pretty border. So do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back up at the beginning. Okay, so I also wanted to show you when you get to your corner, you'll just keep working in your pattern, front post, back post, front post, back post. My last stitch there was a front post. Then you go into your space and you do your 2 double crochets, just like you did on the other row. 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and then you'll move right back into the same thing you ended with on this side. This is a front post, so you'll start with the front post. And it might be different on the other corner, but that's how you work it around, doing your 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 doubles right there. And you'll do this around. When you get back to your beginning stitch, you'll connect to that 3rd chain and chain 3 and repeat the row. Do it about 5 times, so you do about 5 rows of this, and you should have your border there. I'll check back with you then and see if we want to do anything else. Okay? I just wanted to pop in and show you where I'm at on my edging here. As you can see, it's coming out really beautiful. I'm on row number 5. Like I said, do 5 rows. And just make sure you follow your pattern all the way around your corner. If you end with a front post, then you'll do your 2 and 2 and 2 chains there, and then you'll start with the front post on that side. And you just stay in your pattern, like I said, all the way around. I don't know why the color of this is really weird on camera, but it really is a beautiful color. So that's where I'm at with mine. And I just want to share that with you so you could see that. Hope you're having fun making your edging. I think I'm going to do about 6 or 7 rows and then come back and show you the end of it. Okay? Here's my piece all done. I did on the edging, like I said, I decided to do 6 rows. So that's where I stopped it at. And it's a really beautiful woven crochet throw. It's just absolutely gorgeous. You can present it up vertical or horizontal, whichever way you prefer. Here I've turned it around the other way, so you could see it both ways. It's really simple, it's really fun. It's a lot of fun to do this woven crochet, and it incorporates the Tunisian crochet, which is a good thing to learn. My greens are not as pretty in this photograph as I'd like them to be in this video, but it's a little bit brighter than it's appearing. So that's just a very easy edge we put on there with double crochets, front post and back post. Of course, you could make yours larger if you wanted to, you know, or longer or wider, whichever you prefer. Just adjust your pattern. And there she is. So I put it on the sofa. It seems to have better color here because I wanted you to really get a good look. It's very beautiful. So I hope you have fun making it. It's a lovely, lovely piece, and you can just roll up in it.
Okay, do me a favor. Secure that life jacket all the way for me. Alright, just keep your head still. Just look at my top finger here with your eyes and your eyes only, okay?
So Michael reluctantly complied with the